Today is a day I've been waiting for a very long time because we have Microsoft Surface Pro. This is the X Elite version with 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, and an OLED screen. So literally the most spec'd out one you can get. We are also going to be unboxing the new Flex keyboard. So let's go. A lot of companies are going for this eco-friendly packaging that reduces the amount of plastic, and I couldn't see any plastic on there whatsoever, which is quite nice. The box opens and I have the platinum one because that's the only OLED 32GB model. From the outside it looks very similar to the previous generation. The design language hasn't changed very much at all. There's some minimal paperwork, warranty information and things like that. And apart from that, there is of course the Australian power plug and the Surface connector block. So this is used for charging. I tend to use the USB-Cs to charge my device, but you can keep one spare by using the Surface connector. Now that raised area in the box looks like there's something inside, but it's actually just part of the packaging. There's nothing else that comes in the box. It's really minimalist, but hey, that's all you need to get the Surface Pro up and running. Somehow the video of me peeling off the screen covering for the first time corrupted, so I had to stick it back on. That's why it looks like it's not in this pristine condition and why the Surface is already ready to go. But when it first came, it was pristine. Now onto the Surface Flex keyboard. The Flex keyboard also comes in the eco-friendly packaging, and this footage didn't corrupt, so you can enjoy the satisfying paper tab pull. Now, one thing I did appreciate is that the cover and the interior of the product look identical, so when you open it, it looks like just what you saw. The most obvious difference here is the wider trackpad with haptic feedback and the charging slot for the pen, which is now always visible so you can pick up the pen whenever you want. Looking at it, it looks ever so slightly thicker than last time. There's some documentation on how to use a keyboard, because why not, and some warranty information. And again, not too many things inside the box. Welcome back from the unboxing. Now, this is a new device here, and this is the previous generation of the Surface Pro 9. From a distance, I would say you'd be hard-pressed to tell one apart from the other. They have basically got exactly the same port situation with a Surface Pro connector on one side and two USB-Cs on the other. If you look very closely, you can see there's a slight difference in the thickness, and in fact the newer one is slightly thicker. It's also slightly heavier as well. The new one comes out to be about 100 grams heavier. In terms of other little hardware changes, the actual cutout for the webcam is a little bit bigger. The screen itself now has curved edges on all corners. The Flex keyboard has also had some changes, and the new generation has this ridge where the Surface Slim Pen sits, and it's moved further up. The keys themselves are now closer to a squircle than square before, and the trackpad is significantly wider with a haptic system for feedback. The Slim Pen is now permanently exposed, so you can pick it up at all times to scribble and write any notes, unlike the previous generation, which was hidden. For something that visually looks very similar to the last generation, the performance is a totally different matter. I've only really used this device for about a day and a half now, and the differences are stark. The old Surface Pro was no slouch. I was editing basically all the videos you've seen on the channel on it. It's capable of editing 4K files, color grading, all that jazz. But in order to handle those files, I normally had to plug the device in. The fans would kick in and be quite noisy. In contrast, I loaded up the same app on the new Surface Pro and edited near silently. In fact, what I didn't realize was that I hadn't actually plugged the device in. It was just running on battery, but the performance was so smooth that I didn't even notice. And what's ridiculous about this is that this is not even a native ARM app. This is an x86 app that's running on emulation. That just blows my mind that if a non-native app can be so smooth on the new device, I just can't wait to see what ARM64 apps can do. Now, I haven't quite tested out the battery life, but in my limited experience, it is significantly better, but that'll be coming up in a new video. But for a first impression, the design, very similar, but the internals and the performance, very, very different. If you'd like to see some other videos and to see future ones about the Surface Pro, click up here. and I will see you in the next video.